Welcome back to all of our listeners and our viewers for another episode in preparing for Jesus Christ's soon return. I'm John, and with me is my brother Christian, and we want to spend this time in the podcast to remind everyone, to encourage one another, and even to exhort one another that we need to prepare for his soon return, to qualify to become firstfruits, and to be able to rule and reign with him in his coming kingdom age. Today, nobody's talking about it. They're talking about the signs of the time, but no one's talking about that we do need to prepare. It's not automatic that we will get raptured to the heavens with Jesus. It requires our preparation today. And this is why we want to spend this time in this podcast to speak in this way. And for those of you who are listening on a regular basis, please do spread the word. Share this channel with everybody, especially your loved ones, those you're close with, because today, Christian, you may just heard there was a signing between the president of the United States and the president of Iran. There was a virtual signing, remote signing of the Memorandum of Understanding, and this is now the beginning of the process of bringing peace to the Middle East.
Yeah.
And I think this is 2 days ahead of time, right? They were talking about
Right.
Friday in Geneva, but the president of the United States, he signed it in the Palace of Versailles. And what a fitting way for this MOU to be signed and to bring in, and the expectation is to bring this era of peace and safety, even as what the president said. And so we know that this is a key sign of the time. So we really are living in exciting times. The Lord is coming soon, and that means we need to get ready quicker.
Yeah. No, it's amazing, that this deal was not signed on Friday in Geneva, as everybody thought, and the news were reporting it.
Right.
But it was done yesterday.
Yep.
For me, it's yesterday. And in a place where the power of Europe was centralized for many centuries, right? Biggest palace, I think, of the world, even Versailles.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
humongous.
Right.
And but it's really a major sign for us to wake up, because the Daniel 9 says there will be covenant with many.
Mm-hmm.
And how are you going to bring all these many nations of the Middle East together?
Right.
I mean, look at the history of the Middle East, especially since the time Israel was refounded.
Right.
Since 1948. If you look from 1948, or let's say post World War II till today, how much peace has there been in the Middle East? Zero. I mean, never, right?
Right.
And now through this work and through this process of the last years, what Trump has been doing,
Yes.
administration, all the work he's been doing with Israel, with all these other nations,
Right.
you can really see how they're coming together.
Exactly.
And this deal is big because the biggest hostile nation in the Middle East was still the Iran.
Right.
They were constantly causing this hostility.
Exactly.
And to this deal, you can see how things really move together.
Right.
And that is a pathway for the covenant with many to be fulfilled to the full point. And not just that, that will pave the way for the offerings, right?
Exactly.
We definitely see when all these nations come together, the religious liberty is the next step, and that's the offerings. And
exactly.
This is unimaginable a few years ago, anything like this to happen. And this happens now. I talked with my colleagues at work about it yesterday. And then my boss told me, okay, he hears that, but what he doesn't like about it, it seems like man is in control of arranging this. I said to him, no, it's God in control using man.
Right.
And that's what we have to see. Man has been trying this for decades and not getting anywhere.
Right.
But now God's timing is ready. And that's why those things work out now.
Right.
And that's what we have to realize is the hand of God in all of this. And we
Exactly.
realize that we should really get on our feet, on our spiritual feet, and
Mm-hmm.
run.
Yep.
Because the time of rapture is coming close, but also with that, the time of judgment is coming close. And
Exactly.
if we are not using this short time now before the rapture to really press on and get ready, we will
Right.
be left behind. You're not going to be raptured just on the sideline. It happened and you don't even know.
Right.
It's not going to happen like that. We have to
Right.
really press on for the
Mm-hmm.
goal. And that's
Exactly.
why we do the podcast every week. And we
Right.
keep on waking up and moving on and
Yes.
getting
Yeah.
ready.
Right.
It's time. It's so much time. Yeah.
Yeah. And with the Lord is really merciful, right?
Yeah.
He's giving us many times we would say he's given us extra time, right? And
Yeah.
why does it seem like things are dragging out? Because the Lord is giving us this extra time to get ready for his soon return, right? And you know, remember the goal when the Lord comes is what? It's to bring in the millennial kingdom age, right? As we said many times, the Lord does not want to rule in his kingdom by himself. He wants his people, he wants all of us to also rule together with him.
Yeah.
And this is why we keep emphasizing and reminding one another what is the goal. When the Lord comes for the kingdom, his goal is that we would be qualified to become kings and priests.
Yeah.
And but we can't become kings and priests automatically. That's not an automatic, right? It's very clear in the book of Revelation. It speaks about to him who overcomes. So that means there is some effort on our part to come back to the Lord and to really hear his speaking, to be corrected, to be perfected, to be disciplined, so that we can then be qualified to become kings and priests, right? It's like when we're studying to become engineers, right? We don't just automatically become engineer, right?
No way.
Right.
No way.
Impossible. Impossible. We
It's
actually
impossible.
we have to go through a lot of work. And
Yeah.
in many cases, the suffering, you could say the sufferings, right? Because all the hard problems in the labs and the exams and so many things that you have to do to get yourself ready to be an engineer. But now we're going to become kings and priests in the coming millennial kingdom age. Do you think the training will be any less than that? No, I think it'll be much more. And
Yeah.
as we've been enjoying, the Lord is our great high priest. And even he had to learn obedience. He had to be trained. He had to be tested in every sense so that he can sympathize with us, so that he can then supply us to reach the goal.
Yeah.
Right? This is why preparation is very important, but now the time is really compressed, right? The world is ripening, but then that means, I don't know about you, I have this sense that the Lord is also accelerating our training. There's much more things going in our lives that is really driving me and driving us to turn to him more and more because he wants us to get ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his mercy too, right?
Yes.
One side, it's really to show us the signs that we wake up.
Right.
We're not taking it easy or going slow.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side, God also provides the circumstances that are the best for us to mature.
Right.
And when we talk about the priesthood as being the main path to prepare for his coming,
Yes.
the book of Malachi is essential.
Mm-hmm.
Book of Malachi, maybe not many of us read through it or even remember it too much. It's the last book written before the New Testament books in the Bible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's mainly addressing the priests. Right?
Exactly.
You can say it's pretty much a book for the priesthood.
Right.
From the beginning on, it's really all about the priesthood.
Yeah.
And that's why the book of Malachi has also been our fellowship last week on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And really be encouraged to read it. It's short,
Right.
3 or 4 chapters, depending on which Bible you take.
Right.
Right. In German, we have 3. In English, you have 4.
Exactly.
And there's this wonderful word in Malachi 2, verse 4, what God says about a priesthood. He
Right.
says he has a special covenant with Levi, and Levi is the tribe chosen by God for the priesthood.
Right.
And verse 5, Malachi 2:5, he says, my covenant with him was one of life and peace.
Right.
And I gave them to him that he might fear me. So he feared me.
Yes.
That means the only one who has true life is God, and the only one who has true peace is God. He says, I gave them to him. So
Right.
we don't have it by ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And in these circumstances that we are in this time, it's an excellent time to learn to get to know God as the one who gives life and
And
peace.
peace. Exactly.
Because the world, in all its temptations and immorality, and with this death, right, is really extreme. I mean,
Right.
you don't have to go anywhere. It's all on your hand, right? At your
Yeah.
fingertips, as you
Right.
always say there. And we have to be so careful with this.
Yes.
If we're not careful in dealing with this world,
Mm-hmm.
we won't have any life left in our spirit.
Right.
We'll be dead sooner than we know.
Yeah.
Right? If you're careless in dealing with your phone and with the internet and whatever their information is around today,
Mm-hmm.
if you just soak that in,
Right.
you'll be for sure a dead Christian. You'll be a dead priest. There's
Exactly.
no drop of life in you. And I'm not just talking about the world in sense of news, sports, entertainment,
Yeah.
also religious world. If
Mm-hmm.
you're just sucking in all these YouTube preachers and whatever is out there,
Right.
I'm pretty sure you will have no life in you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have no life, then you also will have no peace. Right?
Right.
Those two go together.
Exactly.
I think the best and really maybe the only real way to have life is that you go to him, because the word says, I gave them to him. So who can
Right.
give you life? The YouTube preacher? No.
Mm-mm.
It's only God himself. So this week I had an experience with a person that has a lot of problems,
Mm-hmm.
really a lot of big problems.
Yeah.
And she has absolutely no peace, zero peace. Okay.
Right.
And the reason is she's a Christian for many years, but
Yeah.
there's also no life in her anymore. So I asked her, so what do you do for your faith? Oh, I listen to these YouTube people.
Hmm.
And she thinks about all her problems. I told her, you know what? Close this all out.
Mm-hmm.
Now take your Bible, really take the book
Right.
and read the word and pray and cry out to your God and cast all your cares upon him.
Yes.
And gladly she did it.
Good.
And the next day was the first positive message I got from this person in weeks. All
Right.
of a sudden, she was expressing, oh, God is great. There's hope in my life again.
Yeah.
And a complete change. How
Right.
did that come?
Mm-hmm.
By a YouTube preacher? No.
No.
This person came back to the word,
Mm-hmm.
to own God, God
Yes.
himself,
Right.
seeking him in prayer and in the word.
Yes.
Life came to her, and
Right.
with life, peace, even though the life that she has to live is very difficult.
Yeah.
And this is what is our privilege as a priest. We
Right.
should all be constantly in a state of life and peace, but the only one who can give it to you is he himself.
Exactly.
So we should keep that covenant and
Right.
come to him, because otherwise, if you're in this uncertainty of our days, you don't know if you're going to have your job tomorrow, if
Mm-hmm.
AI is replacing you and all these things, you'll be gone.
Right. And this is very much our experience today, right? The covenant with life and peace is critical, right?
Yeah.
And it's consistent in the New Testament, right? Paul wrote in Romans chapter 8, verse 6, it says, for the mind set on the flesh is death, but the mind set on the spirit is life and peace. So it's
Okay.
exactly what you said. You know, for us to experience life and peace, then today we need to set our mind on the Spirit because the Lord dwells within our spirit and He is the only one that gives us life and peace.
Yeah.
Right. And the minute we start feeling what is the sense of death, right? The mindset on the death. Well, I mean, what are some of the symptoms of it? It's like you feel what? You feel depressed. You feel distressed, right? There's so many D words that come in when it's related to death. And this is a good litmus test. It's a very good test to see, are we living according to this covenant of life and peace? Or are we now drawing on other things except for the Lord? And, these days, I think it's a real test for me. Oftentimes, as since you mentioned about AI, I will tell you, AI is disrupting the industry and it affects us in lots of different ways. I'm talking with the saints here in Fountain Valley. Finding a job, it's a lot more challenging now, especially if you want to go into the tech industry. So many layoffs going on amongst the big high-tech firms. So there's too many workers out there, so it's hard for you to find a good job, right? But then even if you work within one of the high-tech companies, there's a lot of uncertainty because the business model of how to make money with AI is still not yet defined. So, they'll invest a lot of money last year into one area, only to find out in this first half of the year that they're not making any money. So, because the business models are not lined up, then reorganizations happen, which means your job might not be there tomorrow. And that's also a big stressor, right? And I know a number of brothers and sisters who are in those situations with the organizational reorganization, the changes of the business. There's a lot of stress, right? And for me, okay, my biggest frustration is I want to help. I want to solve people's problems. And you're laughing, right? Because you know me, because I'm always a problem solver. And whenever anybody, especially if it's my family or the brothers and sisters who are having problems, I want to
Mr. Troubleshoot.
right? I want to help them. But I realized these are all problems I can't solve.
Yeah.
AI is a whole new industry. I have no it's a whole new area that everybody doesn't know how to deal with yet. And that's just one example. There's so many areas that I would love to help the brothers and sisters in the church and my family, but I just can't. I don't know how to do it. And it's been a good training because the Lord is showing me that I can't do anything, but he can do everything. And so when I turn to the Lord, I come back to this mindset on the Spirit. There is really life and peace. And not only is there life and peace, for me, the spontaneous reaction is to pray for the saints. And I think these days, the Lord is really encouraging us, even exhorting us. It's important to pray for one another. Yeah. As our great high priest, he intercedes for us, then we need to join him in interceding for all the brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
For all of the priests that are in the priesthood in Zion, for us to make it, right? And when I do come back to the Lord in this way, then there definitely is life and peace. And then when I do fellowship and I speak with them, then as Malachi continues on in verse 6 of Malachi chapter 2, it says, "The law of truth was in his mouth, and injustice was not found on his lips. He walked with me in peace and equity and turned many away from iniquity." Right?
Yeah.
I turn to the Lord and I come to him about all of these problems. And then I have fellowship with them to encourage everyone, turn back to the Lord. Set your mind on the Spirit for life and peace. Rest in him, right? And then just to pray for them and encourage them to go in this way. This is what the Lord is doing, right?
Yeah.
And the challenges are not slowing down. The world is ripening really fast.
Yeah.
Which the Lord wants us to get ready really fast. I think that's another signs of the time. If we see the Lord accelerating our preparation, that is definitely another signs of the time that he is coming soon.
Right.
So coming into the reality of this covenant of life and peace is very crucial for us at this point in the time, because we see the coming of the Lord really soon.
Yeah. We definitely right now we're still talking, but soon the facts will follow.
Exactly.
Things will happen.
Right.
And you can see, I mean, when did this whole Iran issue come up? It was beginning of the year, right? They
Mm-hmm.
had a 30-some days war,
Yep.
then 2 months or so or more negotiation, and the thing is done.
Yep.
Did
Yep.
not even take half a year.
No, it was exactly 10 weeks.
Okay, see, not even a quarter of a year.
Right.
You
Right.
get this, I mean, unsolvable global issue
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to this state, right?
Exactly.
I mean, that's amazing,
It's
right?
fast.
And some people spend the whole presidency to work on it and don't even get anywhere, right?
Right. Right.
But we really have to experience this salvation through Christ of life and peace in us first.
Yes.
Keep this covenant. And when we keep this covenant, then
Mm-hmm.
you see in verse 6, the salvation that has worked in you will then
Mm-hmm.
also work in others.
Right.
You cannot pass on anything of spiritual strength to others that has not worked in you more
Exactly.
and first.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be a priest
Right.
in whose mouth is a law of truth, like
Yes.
verse 6,
Right.
and injustice not found on your lips,
Mm-hmm.
and to turn many away from iniquity, we need to first have this experience inside of us.
Right.
Walk with him
Right.
in peace and equity,
Exactly.
peace and righteousness, I'd say, right?
Right.
It's pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a foundation of becoming a priest as God wants us to be priests.
Yes.
And when you read that verse 6, I'd say this is pretty much a qualification to be a first fruit, to be
Right.
raptured, because
Yes.
it says in Revelation 14, there is no deceit found in their mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So verse 6 has to become our experience today.
Right.
It cannot be something that we just read and understand. It has to be the experience
Yes.
of in our life today.
Right.
That when we speak, we're not joking around, we're not just talking about things of the world,
Mm-hmm.
but we are filled in our heart with the law of truth. How
Right.
can the law of truth be on your mouth? It has to be in your heart first,
Exactly.
right? If I'm not reading the word, if I'm not fellowshipping in the word continuously all day long,
Yeah.
what will I talk about? If I'm filling myself all day long with just tech news and world
Mm-hmm.
news and
Mm-hmm.
religious
Right.
discussions,
Right.
there's not going to be any law of truth in my mouth.
Right.
And so we have to be super careful as priests. What
Mm-hmm.
is our heart filled with? Because that's what we will talk about.
Yeah.
So the law of truth was in his mouth. He was really filled in his heart with the word, like Psalm 1 says, right?
Right.
And injustice was not found on his lips. That means there's really a salvation happening through the
Mm-hmm.
word from all this filth, from all this dirt. We unfortunately still have the sin of the flesh of sin, this
Right.
body of sin. And
Mm-hmm.
if we're not nourishing and exercising the walk by the Spirit, the sin will
Yeah.
take over and death will take
Right.
over in everybody.
Yeah.
You cannot escape that. As long as you live, you can only turn to your spirit and
Yeah.
really fellowship and walk through the Lord. That's the way of escape, right?
Right. Right.
And then he says he walked with me. He did not just walk in peace and equity, but he says he walked with me in peace and
Mm-hmm.
equity. And
Yes.
that's the only way to live in this body of sin, body of
Right.
death, in this world, and still be such a priest.
Exactly.
Walk with him. Because
Right.
he is stronger than all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And practically, it really requires us to experience much salvation through the
Right.
living Word of God and through
Exactly.
His fellowship. We
Yeah.
need a lot of that. And when
Right.
we have a lot of that in us, it will be just a consequence. Many will be turned away from iniquity,
Mm-hmm.
whatever we say, and also the way
Right.
we live. Because how we
Exactly.
live, that speaks even louder than what we say. Like,
Right.
if you, I'm so stressed about, like, even at my company, Bosch, it's kind of been the rock of German industry. Okay, if you work for that company, you are unfireable in the past.
Mm-hmm.
You're a lifelong employee. You have all the benefits you can imagine. You have good pay. You have, even if you're not performing well, you'll stay there all days of your life. That's how this
Right.
company was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's no more like that. Those days are over. If
Yeah.
you're not performing well and if you're not really creating profit for this company, they have found a legal way to
Wow.
lay you off.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
happening in thousands with
wow.
engineers. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
talking about just maybe more simple jobs that get
Mm-hmm.
removed by
Mm-hmm.
automation in
Right,
industry.
right. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
but really, you went through all your studying right now. If you're not working on something that's creating profit,
Yeah.
you're gone, even in these companies. And
Right.
if I were so stressed about it all the
Yeah.
time, sleepless about it,
Mm-hmm.
then you cannot help anyone to find life and peace.
Right.
But if we turn to the Lord,
Yes.
then we can really testify from experience.
Yeah.
That's the priest that God is looking for. Those are the priests that are going to rule in the
Right.
next age, not
Exactly.
just knowledge. Knowledge was not
Mm-hmm.
going to get us in the next age. No.
Yeah. 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 No, we have a saying here. Our earthly job is our part-time secondary job, but our
Right.
real job is to become kings and priests, right? So it's very good that we are speaking about the priesthood because that is what the Lord wants us to ultimately do when he comes, right? So we can either be stressed out on the job, missed the Lord, missed all the training, or we can take all of that uncertainty on the job, whatever the challenges we're faced with, and we turn to the Lord to experience life and peace. And then he's able to transform us. And this is the goal, right? This is how the Lord will get us to the goal. And, so from that respect, then, yeah, all the challenges on the job, in the family, in the marriage, it's for our perfecting, it's for our transformation to reach the goal, right?
Yeah.
Because that is ultimately the real job that we should be working for. And it has value because it's eternal value. Because when the Lord comes, this is what he wants us to do. I don't think you'll be a Bosch engineer when the Lord comes, right?
No, gladly
You won't
not.
be in high tech when the Lord comes. We will be reigning with Christ when he comes. And but and as you said, it's critical that it becomes our living. It's not just what we say, but it's what we speak. It's how we live, right? Because as priest, ultimately, when you get to verse 7, it even
Uh-huh.
says at the very last phrase, well, it says, "For the lips of a priest should keep knowledge." This is not just doctrines or teachings, but the real experience of Christ. And
Yeah.
people should seek the law from his mouth, for he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts. Right? So we should realize as priests, we also are messengers of the Lord. We should be those who speak the truth, but not just to speak it, but to walk in the reality of it. Right? This is what Paul reminds even Timothy. Right? In 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 16, it says, "Take heed to yourself and to the teachings.
Hmm.
Continue in them, for in doing this, you will save both yourself and those who hear you." Right? So
Yeah.
it's important for ourselves and it's important for our fellow priests in the priesthood.
Yeah.
Right? And in Paul, I believe he himself even said this in Romans 15:18. It says, "For I will not dare to speak of any of those things which Christ has not accomplished through me in word and deed to make the Gentiles obedient." Right? So this becomes very important for all of us, right? For those of you who tune in to listen to our podcast, you hear Christian and I talking, and you could probably say the things that we're talking about. But if you want this word to be effective in you and for those you love and you care about, then this has to become your experience, your reality of knowing Christ in such a way. Right. And this is why, in the end, yes, it's whatever we say, but what counts is that the word of the Lord becomes a part of us. We experience the Lord in our walk with him every day. And through his speaking to us individually, we can then be trained by him. We can walk with him in peace and righteousness. And then when we speak to one another to encourage one another to reach the goal, then there will be the effectiveness of life and peace. Right? So this is a wonderful responsibility as being priests in the holy priesthood. Not just that we ourselves are transformed, but we are the messengers of the Lord to encourage one another, to strengthen one another, that we all would reach the goal. So it's a wonderful profession. This is the real profession that we should be in.
This is a real profession.
Exactly.
The only eternal profession.
Exactly.
And it's the best when we take our remaining short time to learn it.
Right.
Because it's really a joy.
Yeah.
To live a truly priestly life.
Right.
The knowledge alone is not much joy. It's like when you read a menu in a restaurant, do you have joy just reading about all this kind of food? There's no joy in that.
No.
But when the food is on your plate and you're hungry and it's there,
yes,
then you'll enjoy. And that's how it is with the priesthood. To hear the fellowship, it might be an encouragement, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then if you enter yourself into the experience and the reality and the taste of it, then you really find the joy of the Lord.
Exactly.
And that is what we just can encourage to read, for example, Malachi chapter 2 and get into that and tell the Lord, Lord, make me such a priest. Help me.
Right. Teach
me by the holy anointing in me to be such kind of a priest.
Exactly.
And that will be wonderful, because the church cannot reach the goal if there's one brother and he learned it and the rest just listens to him. This is not the way the church can reach the goal.
No.
It is a priesthood. Everybody, young and old, new and more aged, everybody has a privilege to enter into it and needs to enter into it.
Right.
And then the priesthood will be very powerful and very glorious.
Right.
And that's what God is training us for.
Exactly.
So maybe really take it to heart and bring it to the Lord. He's the only one who can do the job in all of us.
Right.
No one else can do that job. Even not John can help you to do it.
Oh my. No, I can't. It
has to be the Lord himself.
Exactly.
And so let's all turn to him.
Yes.
And tell him, you're the great high priest.
Right.
So lead me and bring me into the reality of being in the priesthood today. And specifically the experience of Malachi.
Right.
Definitely see as a key point to be ready for the Lord's coming. Absolutely.
Right. So with that, I know we're coming up on the time where we need to stop the podcast, but again, we want to encourage you all, right? Now's the time to really practice, to be exercised, right? This cannot just be a teaching or good knowledge for you to say, okay, I got it. But it's time for all of us to enter into the reality. Again, this is a covenant of life and peace. And the Lord wants to work within us to transform us and to perfect us so that we can mature early to become firstfruits, qualified to become kings and priests. So we encourage you in this new week, continue to practice, continue to seek the Lord, continue to especially hear his speaking. Yeah. So with that, I guess we'll have to stop it now.
Right.
But I guess we'll see you next week, right, Christian?
Yes.
Yeah.
And all the young ones also exercise. When you're young, it's time to learn. Don't wait.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't wait.
No.
Okay.
Then we'll see each other next week. Yeah.
All right. Very good.
All right.
So we'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon, huh?
Yep.
Take care.